Hey guys, this is Ray the Messenger, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about how you can break the victim mentality. Now let's get right into the video. So the first thing that you have to realize is that probably everybody around you has the same victim mentality. When you go into school, for example, most likely all your teachers will have the victim mentality. They will talk about this, oh, it's somebody else's fault that something happened. And then you go out into the workforce, maybe you go work for somebody else, and then your colleagues, they will talk some shit about something and they will like, oh, I can't do something because it was my parents' fault, they didn't teach me. So they just give out the blame to everybody else. And then you open up the television, you see some politicians or whatever the hell you're seeing, and they're like, it's not my fault, because it's somebody else's fault, this person's fault, the person who did the job before me, it's their fault. It's not my fault, I couldn't do anything about it. And this mentality is a really, really strong mentality that has been there with a lot of people, and you need to break out of it. Because the victim mentality will not get you any results. This is an important thing that you have to realize. Because in the end of the day, if you look at the results, most people don't care if you victimize yourself. You will not get some bonus points by sitting there and crying around like a victim. This doesn't work, especially if somebody who wants to achieve their goals. Because when you want to go out there and get something, you cannot go out there and be a victim about it, because nobody will give you something because you're a victim. This is not good. It will only get you sympathy, and most likely fake sympathy. But you cannot buy anything from fake sympathy, and you cannot achieve anything with fake sympathy. So this is the first thing you have to realize. You have to realize that this is not going to help you. Because right now, probably most likely, you're using the victim mentality either as an excuse, a cope, or some kind of benefit that you're getting. Because when you're inside of the victim mentality and you go out there into the world, there will be a lot of also similar people like you who are also weak, and they will give you reinforcement. Oh, it's great. You're a victim. Perfect. Just keep being a victim. That's great. We love you as you are. Oh, don't worry about it. It's your right. It's everybody else's fault. It's not your fault that your life is bad and you're not achieving your goals. It's everybody else's fault, right? It's the government, or it's I don't know who else. Just find some random person to blame. And this mentality will keep you locked in forever. So this is the thing you have to realize. What am I gaining from this victim mentality? Because right now, by adopting this victim mentality, you have some kind of subconscious benefit. Maybe consciously you don't realize it. So what you need to do is you need to sit there and be 100% honest with yourself and think about, why does this help me? What do I gain from it? Maybe it could be that you get sympathy from your friends who are also losers, or maybe it's kind of like a shield you're using in order for you not to go out there and try to put in the work. Because when you would let go of the victim mentality, you would realize that, oh my god, everything is inside of my own hands and I can make anything happen that I have inside of my mind. And when you realize that kind of stuff and you sit there and you deeply realize that 100%, then you will be forced to go out there and take chances. And maybe you're afraid to go out there and take chances. So this is the thing. You have to realize the victim mentality will not bring you anywhere. You need to let go of that stuff. And instead you should adopt the mentality of, I can do anything and I control my own life situations. Because in most likelihood, it's true. It's true. Who's the person in fault to blame? If you look at all situations that happen inside of your life, most likely it's you are the common denominator. So you put yourself in a certain kind of situation. I'll give you an easy example. Let's say you're 300 pounds, right? And you're overweight, extremely overweight. Who was the person that put that food inside of their mouth? It was you. And I know there's some exceptions to this rule. Yeah, maybe there's some obscure person who has some kind of weird disease, or this kind of person that was in a certain situation where they couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, I know. But most likely for 99% of people, and especially for the people listening right here, most likely it was you who was putting that food inside of your mouth, and you who was sitting there on your couch and didn't go out there to work out. So this was your fault. So you have to take that blame and realize it was my own fault. But don't just sit there and blame yourself for it and be negative about it. But now realize, oh, I was the one that has everything in control. So now I can actually change it. Because the second you take the responsibility, this is the most important thing. This is what I want you to do. I want you to sit there and take responsibility for everything that happened, that has put you in that kind of situation. Until you do that, until you take the responsibility for everything that happened and stop being a victim, that's the second you actually gain the power to change something. You cannot change something for which you don't have responsibility to, because it's out of your control. For example, if I would want to change the weather and I don't have some weird weather powers, the weather is out of my control. But if I somehow have control over my own self, I can actually change that because it's in my hands. The weather, I cannot go out there and start let it rain. Like I wish I could have those powers, but I'm not Storm from the X-Men, so I don't have these powers. But you have to realize that you have the power to change your own life. And when you realize that, that's when you can take steps. Before that, you're just a victim. You can do anything. And the victim mentality is the worst thing you can be in. Because the victim mentality will keep you trapped. And then you will get sympathy from other victims and you will all be in a victim cycle. Because victims, they create other victims. And you will also be a victim with other people together. So this is the problem. You need to go out there, take responsibility also for yourself and for all of your actions. And when you do that, you need to write down the next steps. Because when you have the responsibility, then you have the plan that you need to make in order to achieve your goals that you have inside of your mind. Because now that you let go of the victim mentality, you can go into the responsibility to take charge of your own life. And this is the only way that you will actually go out there and start achieving the things that you want and get better in life. Before that, you're just sitting there, you can do anything. Even if you look at people who are in different kind of situations where they're like maybe victimized, where they have no chance, the best thing these people can do is let go of the victim mentality. It will actually give them power. So this is a power up for you. Even if you assume you're in this, let's make a hypothetical situation, you could not lose your weight. It would be impossible. What would be more better to you? To believe that actually you can change these things somehow, some way, or that you have hope that you can control your life, or just believing that you can't do anything about it. The one thing will help you. Even if it may be a little bit delusional, it will still help you. I'd rather believe in something that will give me power and help me achieve my own goals than in something that will not give me power and be something that will hold me down. Because in most cases it's true that you have the things inside of your life 100% in your control, and it's not just in destiny's control, it's not somebody else's fault, it's nobody else's fault, it's your own fault, and that's what you have to realize. And then don't blame yourself for it, don't get negative for yourself about it, but just be rational about it. Like, yes, I took that action, but now I'm going to stop taking that action, I'm going to move forward. So if you take this step, take the self-responsibility, start going out there and start taking action for your own self, and be like, everything in my life is in my own hands. If you realize that, then you're a big step ahead. I know it takes a long time, it took me a long time to let go of that, because there will always be some little moments where it wants to come back. The victim mentality wants to come back. This is really difficult, so you have to let go of that. Even if all your life you've been a victim, you can decide from one day to another, okay, now I'm going to stop being a victim, and that's when you get a lot of more power also to change your own life. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Start implementing these things, let go of your victim mentality. Nobody will feel sympathy for you, and in the end of the day, it's not going to help you, it's not going to make your life better, and in the end of the day, nobody cares about your problems, only yourself. So make it happen. Hope this video was helpful. Put a like on it, subscribe to my channel. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.